مكملين كلامنا في الكوره في وقتها على راديو هيتس 88.2. في بدايه الحلقه قلت لكم ان كان في جوله مشتعله في البريمير ليج، وكان مهم بقى ان احنا ناخد واحد من يعني الحراس المميزين جدا سابقا، مارك بونيتش، طبعا حارس مرمى استون فيلا وتشيلسي ومانشستر يونايتد السابق. Hello coach.
Hello, how are you?
It's a pleasure to have you with us on Radio Hits.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me on.
An interesting game weekend, the Premier League. A lot of very interesting clashes between Tottenham, Man City, Chelsea, Brighton, Arsenal against Wolves too. If you're gonna sum up the game week in few words, what would you say?
I think it was one of the most exciting weekends that we've had this season in the Premier League. You mentioned all those games, and it's hard to pick which one was the best one.
I forgot Liverpool against Fulham too.
Yeah, Liverpool versus
it was
Fulham,
the best.
And I think that one would be up there, and probably Manchester City and Tottenham as well, because I don't think anyone expected Tottenham to get anything out of the game, especially at half time when Manchester City should have been maybe 3 or 4 ahead. But they made a change at half time. Højbjerg come on for Gill, and they were very good in the second half. And Manchester City drew 3 games now in the Premier League on the trot, which is unlike them.
Yeah. Ange Postecoglou, with the absence of Van de Ven, Romero, Madison, a lot of key players in Spurs, and to manage to grab a point on the Etihad pitch, I think he deserves credit.
Big credit. He had a very good start to his career with Tottenham Hotspur, but they lost the last 3 games on the trot. And you mentioned about all the players that he was missing to go there. And like I said, in the first half, Manchester City, I know they conceded first, but they played so well and they missed a lot of chances. And then they started the second half very well. But he made the change at half-time, which I thought was important to give them a little bit more stability. And they kept on being brave. They kept on playing their football. And in the end, they scored 2 very good goals. And like I said, that would give the team a lot of confidence going forward, because they have very hard games coming up this week in the midweek against West Ham and then against Newcastle as well. So everyone here in Australia is very, very proud of him and the way he's been going, but they just got a little bit worried after losing those 3 games on the trot.
Yeah. But you think, where can he go? Where can he reach with the current Spurs team?
I think, yeah.
Especially,
I think it's very open.
Let me tell you, after he lost Harry Kane, a lot of people thought that Tottenham won't finish in the top 6, even not only the top 4.
Yeah, very true. But I think it was understandable that Harry Kane, after playing so long at Tottenham, wanted to leave to go to a club, Bayern Munich, that's going to win things. They most probably always win the Bundesliga, and they're one of the favourites for the Champions League. And I think as a new coach coming in, it's not such a bad thing sometimes. I know it's everyone sort of thought top scorer and so forth, but you want to build something new. You probably want players that are going to be more suited to the way that Ange plays. So he's done very well at the start. I think he can finish in the top 4. Their squad isn't very, very deep like some of the other teams are, but the big advantage that they have no European football.
Yes.
So I know the FA Cup will start now
like Chelsea.
Year, but they go, yes, 100%. They can have 1 week to prepare pretty much for all the games. You've seen with a lot of the other teams, they're playing 3 times a week, and sometimes that can become a lot with injuries and then suspensions.
Yeah, Arsenal last season were very close to grab the title, but they didn't manage to. What is the difference, the main difference between Arsenal this season and last season? Do you feel any difference?
Not a great deal of difference so far. I think last season it was the biggest difference is they took everybody by surprise of how well they did for a long, long time. And I think a lot of people are expecting them to do much better this season. They saw what they did last season. So I don't see a great deal of difference. They've obviously made the change in goals. They brought David Raya in for Aaron Ramsdale. I'm not sure so far that's been a big success. But at the moment, looking at it, they're looking very, very good. at the top of the table, but there's a lot of games to go. And the other thing is this season as well, the Champions League will take a lot out of them. Last season they were in the Europa League playing on the Thursday night. Arteta could afford to play, a week inside on a Thursday night and still progress, a little bit like Liverpool are doing this season. The Champions League, they want success because it's the biggest competition that there is in world club football.
Liverpool, this season a lot of people didn't expect Liverpool to go that far.
No.
You expected that.
You're exactly right. A lot of people sort of saw them as a little bit of outsiders.
Yes,
they have pretty much a new team, but they've still got Mohamed Salah.
And especially I was gonna tell you about Salah. Every season, we all think that Salah won't score a lot of goals and won't have that goal contribution with Liverpool, but he still managed to grab a lot of goals and assists.
He's an outstanding player. He's arguably the best player in the world, you could say, right now.
Best player in the world.
Well, right at this moment in time, if you had to pick 3 or 4 players, you would have him right up there, in my opinion. And every time he plays, he looks like he's going to score, or he's going to give a lovely ball for somebody else to score. They got a new team. They got their Szoboszlai in the midfield, Gravenberch as well, who are doing very, very well.
And even McAllister.
And they've only lost McAllister as well, who scored a fantastic goal against Fulham on the weekend. Yes. And they've only lost 2 games all season in all competitions. One in the Premier League when they were very unlucky against Tottenham, and also the game against Toulouse in the Europa League. But that was with, again, a second-string side. And they are travelling very, very well, and they're underneath the radar this time round.
If you're going to pick one of Haaland, Mbappe, and Mo Salah, who would you pick?
Right now, for me, right now, I like to pick after the weekend. I pick Salah.
Salah, okay. Egyptian people will love you more. Let me speak with you about Manchester United. And you used to play and wear the Red Devil shirt. What's wrong about Manchester United this season and the current the last few seasons? Is it the board, the player, the coach?
It's everything. It's everything, my friend. Everything, and it's been going on for too long. And now we're in. It's like a circle. They get a new manager, and then after a couple of years, the grumbling start, and then they end up changing the manager. I think this time they need to stick a little bit longer with the manager. What's going on with the board, we could speak here for 2 days about that, what's going on behind the scenes, so we'll leave that away. The most important thing is the players have got to shut that out of their minds. They're there to play football, okay? The environment is all specific for them to play football, not to worry about what goes on upstairs. That's not their problem.
Yes.
And right at this moment in time, they're not playing football very well. They've had money to spend, and some of the players that's been brought in have not been producing good form. In terms of the manager and his staff, and they've got to fight. They've got to fight hard now. Sometimes, in football, you can't play beautiful football over a long season every game. There's going to be times like on the weekend against Newcastle where you're going to be under a lot of pressure and you have to do things that you don't normally naturally do just to make sure you get a result. Yes. And that's what they need to do, or else they're going to very, very quickly before Christmas be out of contention to get into the top 4. They have to beat Bayern Munich in the Champions League if they wish to qualify. Even if they do that, it'll be still, even if the results go the other way for them.
They need a draw between Copenhagen and Galatasaray.
They do. So they still could be out of that. But in terms of their league form, at the moment they're in 7th position on 24 points. It's 5 points off Aston Villa, who are in 4th. But if they keep playing like they did against Newcastle, that gap will become bigger and bigger. So in terms of Erik ten Hag, I'd like to see them give him more chance, give him more time. But I will say this, just like with my ex-teammate Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, if they keep losing, they will be left with no choice but to change the manager. But I hope that they keep faith with him and they turn things around.
Okay. Mark Bosnich, the former Aston Villa, Manchester United and Chelsea goalkeeper, it was a pleasure to have you with us. Thank you so much.
Anytime my friend. Hello to everyone in Egypt.
Thank you. دي كانت مداخلتنا مع مارك بوسنيتش، حارس سابق بقى لمانشستر يونايتد واستون فيلا وتشيلسي. ناس بقى اللي بتحب البريمير ليج على قديمه هيبقوا عارفين انه كان واحد من الحراس، مش هقول يعني اللي هم حراس الصف، ولكن كان حارس برضو ليه اسمه كان مميز جدا. خليني بقى ايه اقول لكم اهم الكلام اللي قاله. كنت بقول له ان الجوله اللي فاتت من البريمير ليج كانت جوله مشتعله وكانت جوله ممتعه جدا، وشفنا مواجهات عديده بقى ما بين شفنا فولهام وليفربول اللي انا حتى كنت نسيت اقوله من ضمن اللقاءات في البدايه، قال لي ده امتع ماتش من الماتشات كلها. شفنا سيتي وتوتنهام، ارسنال وولفز، تشيلسي وبرايتون. فقال لي هي كانت جوله مشتعله تماما، وكانت جوله من الجولات الممتعه جدا لاي مشاهد للبريمير ليج. سالته على لقاء توتنهام ومانشستر سيتي، وبالتحديد على انجي بوستيكوغلو المدير الفني الاسترالي لتوتنهام، لان هو بونيتش مقيم في استراليا حاليا. فقال لي ان الكل هنا فخور بيه جدا جدا، والكل بيشيد باللي حققه مع توتنهام حتى الان، وخاصه ان توتنهام بعد رحيل هاري كين الكل كان متوقع ان هم ممكن حتى يطلعوا مش بس بره التوب 4 لكن كمان بره التوب 6. قال لي ان الكل هنا بيشيد بانجي بوستيكوغلو، اشاد بتعامله مع لقاء السيتي، بدل نزل هويبرغ ما بين الشوطين مكان جيل، وده اللي حسن الاداء الدفاعي لتوتنهام بعض الشيء خلال احداث اللقاء، واشاد بتمسكه باسلوبه حتى مع تلقيه اهداف ويعني العديد من الفرص التهديفيه اللي صنعها السيتي بالتحديد خلال احداث الشوط الاول. سألته على أرسنال ايه الفرق ما بين السنة دي والسنة اللي فاتت، والسنة اللي فاتت أرسنال كان قريب جدا من ان هو يخطف اللقب. قال لي ان تبديل رايا برامزديل، او تبديل ان هو ارتيتا يستغنى عن رامزديل الحارس الانجليزي ويعتمد على الاسباني ديفيد رايا، هو لغايه دلوقتي مش مقتنع بيه قوي، ولكن يبدو ان ارسنال اكتر صلابه دفاعيه، الفريق عنده خبرات ومتزن اكتر من السنه اللي فاتت، وبالتالي ممكن يذهب بعيدا في البريمير ليج. كانت المفاجاه بالنسبه لي بقى انه لما بساله على ليفربول وبقول له ان كلنا ما كناش متوقعين ان ليفربول السنه دي يقدم اداء جيد، وكل سنه نقول ان صلاح ممكن ما يبقاش يعني بنفس التألق بتاع السيزون اللي قبله، بيفاجئنا كلنا. قال لي فعلا انا يعني صلاح واحد انا بشوف انه احسن لعيب في العالم في الوقت الحالي. قلت له لو انت هتختار واحد من هالاند ومبابي وصلاح هتاخد مين؟ قال لي انا اخد صلاح، ان لعيب ايا كان حالته ايه كل ماتش هيطلع لي بجون او اسيست. فاشاد بصلاح جدا جدا، ووصفه انه احسن لاعب في العالم حاليا، واشاد بليفربول وتفوقه على فولهام بقى بكل الصفقات الجديده، ماكاليستر، سوبوزلاي، جرافنبرغ، وشاف ان ليفربول فاجئ الجميع بالاداء اللي بيقدمه في الوقت الحالي. مانشستر يونايتد شايف ان كل المنظومه كلها مسؤوله عن الشكل السيء جدا اللي عليه اليونايتد في الوقت الحالي، سواء مجلس الاداره، الجهاز الفني تنهاج، او اللاعبين، ولكنه تمنى أن يكون هناك تمسك بتنهاج لأطول فترة زمنية ممكنة. ولكنه بيقول لي إن لو هزايم اليونايتد والشكل السيء ده كمل فترة طويلة مش هيكون قدام مجلس إدارة اليونايتد أوبشن تاني إلا إقالته. وقال لي إن هو محتاج معجزة عشان يتأهل طبعا من مجموعته من الشامبيونز ليج، إن هو يكسب بايرن ميونخ ويستنى نتيجة إيجابية وتعادل ما بين كوبنهاجن وجالاتا سراي. ده كان أهم اللي قاله مارك بونيتش الحارس السابق لأستون فيلا، مانشستر يونايتد وتشيلسي.